Shalom. Kahala Yahweh Shemel Shabbat Shmakakwadash. Double honors to the other apostles and other bishops of Great Millstone, even the elders that came before them that taught us this truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers up pushing the word and truth and its sincerity, the hopeful like tabernacle of David. Other brother slash elder, Yashawan, Shalom and salutations to you all. This is the WW3 Daily Update, and I'm going to make this real quick. Joel 3 and 9, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, holy war. Wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. What the hell is NATO doing? Lake full of NATO submarines, particle beam weapons. Marfugel TV, this just came out less than an hour ago. We're going to let Marf entertain us. He's going to do a little intro, and then I'm going to go to, I believe it's 5-ish. Go, Marf.
All right, Marfugel TV live in 3, 2, 1. All right, what is going on, guys? It is Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfugel TV. We're going to get right into the news. First, I want to talk about an old video that has resurfaced, and a lot of people have been sending me this because of big Twitter accounts that are reposting it. I believe we actually covered this back when it happened, but when the Pope's funeral happened, a lot of folks are talking about the kind of weapons that they actually had there. Now, I'm going to show you an image. It says, what weapon is this? These are soldiers guarding the Vatican ahead of the Pope's funeral. Now, remember, this is back in April, I think April 26th, and this was one of the weapons. It looks like a pizza oven, but no joke, this is actually one of the new smart weapons, and they call this, I believe, a smart weapon. Jacob Israel actually responded, says, Grog knows all. The weapon in the picture is a tracking point precision-guided firearm. Now, somebody else corrects this. It says, specifically a model from their series of smart rifles. These rifles use advanced technology, including a networked tracking scope, to enhance accuracy by locking onto targets and compensating for variables like wind and distance. The design often includes a futuristic look with integrated electronics
Kentucky windage
with matches to the appearance. Now, I immediately said that looks like one of those net guns, the one that shoots out the net and actually grabs the drones. Other people said anti-drone weapon. It says anti-drone, bro. The old ones we have way better now. So I'm actually curious to see what kind of better. It says that this is the DJA-120W, is a handheld, long-range, multi-band counter.
Cost 6 band.
UAS jammer designed.
Is that number 6?
Safeguard against unauthorized drones. One thing that we didn't really, cover in detail is the fact that more and more actual events now have these or have something like it. They are even talking about adding these to Super Bowls and other events like that. We're going to cover much more tonight. In fact, obviously the new huge crew of the Carrier Strike Group just arrived in Venezuela. They are now mass mobilizing in Venezuela and even grabbing some of their neighbors to help them as well. So are we looking at the beginning of the war? We will talk about that. Also, they say that now there is a lake full of NATO submarines. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. We'll be right back right after this.
All right, so what is it? We'll go right up here to 5-ish.
Nothing in the show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the 25, just like 24 and 23 and 22 and 21 and 19, it is a new world. Every single day, things just keep getting weirder and weirder. Dex, speaking of which, let's talk about Sweden. The Baltic Sea is now a lake full of NATO subs.
Yeah, so the warfare
Okay, so what am I getting at? Read this one more time. Why did I read that? Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim thee, Joel 3 and 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men, let all the men of war draw near, let them come up, even in your subs, in your submariners. Go, Mark. Fugel fam. Go.
exercises, the anti-submarine warfare exercises to be specific, kicked off this week. And the top commander said now that they have Sweden in the alliance, that the Baltic Sea is now a lake full of NATO submarines under a unified command. So with Sweden's addition, that was our first opportunity to add another submarine nation to NATO. And now we have basically a Baltic lake full of NATO submarines. The NATO top submarine commander, U.S. Rear Admiral Brett Graub, said at a press briefing, speaking about the topic in Stockholm. The exercise, NATO's dedicated Baltic anti-submarine warfare drill called Merlin, brings together subs from Sweden, Germany, and services ships and helicopters from France, Germany, and Netherlands, and Sweden, and maritime patrol aircraft from the United States to practice all domain anti submarine warfare in the shallow, mine prone, relatively shallow Baltic environment. So, but it's not just those two submarines that are there, it's all the other nations that are now there that have been there with their submarines. So they basically got pretty much everybody in the Baltic Sea all around there with submarines. So, as they call it, the NATO lake or the NATO submarine lake.
Yeah, and obviously you don't know exactly where the submarines are at any time. You know, they could be anywhere. They could be right outside on the border of any country, and they probably wouldn't know. But one thing that we have been tracking is the amount of countries that are beefing up on their anti-submarine technology and anti-submarine vehicles. We just
What would that go into? Yeah. Beat your plowshare. Beat your plowshares in the swords and your pruning hooks in the spears. Let the weak say, I'm strong. What are we talking about? Weapons here, right? Sonar, radar. What are they talking about? Spears. These are weapons of war. What did he just say?
of any country, and they probably wouldn't know. But one thing that we have been tracking is the amount of countries that are beefing up on their anti submarine technology and anti submarine vehicles.
Those are weapons. That technology.
We just covered, what was that, Romania? Or was it, which country just bought?
Germany.
Germany
just got the Poseidons.
Yeah, Germany just bought 8 P-8A Poseidons and is actually going to be getting 4 more. So a total of 12.
12 what? What is a Poseidon? Some kind of weapon. That's what we're talking about here.
P-8 anti-submarine Poseidons, the big beefy planes. So something is up, and we don't know what is going on. But again, we're
A plane is a sword. What is a fuselage? A fuselage looks like a damn missile.
following it. And then
An airplane is a missile with wings.
inside China's Area 51. Now this is pretty interesting to say the least. Satellite images shared with the Telegraph reveal sprawling military base and nuclear test facility hidden in plain sight. Now, the one of the pictures they posted is pretty bland. It looks.
And judging from the way Iran has to dig underground to do anything militarily, why would China just put something out like that as bait when they know they have something underground? Anyway, we'll go ahead and we'll end it right there. But what are people doing? They're beating their plowshares into swords and pruning hooks into spears, right? They're preparing war, right? All the men of war are drawing near to where the front lines, right there between Russia and Ukraine or whatever, in the Baltic Sea. That's the front lines. Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and end it right there. So, I mean, with every day that passes, this is now lake full of NATO submarines, right? Well, the EU and the Beast, right? The 10 toes and the Beast got a role to play coming up. Anyway, we'll go ahead and end it right there. We'll stay on top of things. Things are just moving. Let's get this. Culminating what? The easy way out. Rev 11. And 14 in any language. King James is fine. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. World War III is the third woe. World War II is the second woe. With that, we hope the elect were edified, your brother and few sisters. Shalom.